Today, we got a new hyper talk from the dev team, and some of the points are very, very important. Some are not really important, in my opinion. We're going to go through them, and I'll tell you guys what I think about the stuff that they talk about in the video, because I think some of that is going to be so crucial for the future game content. The first news is going to be the new pay-to-win SSR character. She's going to be in the Apex banner because she's going to be one of the constant element unit. She's not going to be available very, very easily, okay? You can still pull her from the standard banner, but getting this character is not going to be simple. She's going to be Mio, the new SSR, and she is actually really, really good because when you look at the base stat here, we have 113 base speed. And in this game, 113 is a little bit higher. I think the standard is like 110 speed. So 113 is a little bit higher. And then 115 and above are like the high base speed unit. And anything below 110 is going to be a bit lower base speed unit like SR character or R character. So for Mio, she's going to be a bit faster and she's a strong control character. If you look at the skill, her skill 1 can freeze the enemy. Her skill 2 can also CC. Her skill 3 can also CC. So she's a very strong CC character. She can freeze single targets. She can steal turn meter and distribute amongst other allies. As you can see right here, skill 1 can apply freeze with a 25% chance, which is not the worst thing in the world. But in this game, later in the death note, they talk about accuracy and resistance. Accuracy can actually boost your chance to freeze even more consistent. So 25% chance in skill 1 is not really 25%. Let's put it that way. The skill 1 can freeze, and it's going to be a pretty good freeze because having skill 1 I can control is going to be great for defense as well when she can just keep freezing the enemy. Her skill 2 can AoE freeze and wound the enemy. Wound is going to be heal block. I think heal block is going to be a bit more underrated in general, but I think heal block is going to be absolutely incredible against bosses that can do big heal or against defense team that rely on healing. For example, Linglo, Sania. But then Sania can cleanse. But then if you put a lot of debuff on them, then the heal block is going to be one of the debuff that can counter the healing part. So very solid control unit. Skill 3 can increase speed of the entire team. That is really good. Okay, AoE speed buff is always one of the strongest buff to get for a turn-based game because you gain your turn meter back very, very quickly. And she can steal the main target turn meter by 50%. So you push back one target. Not too bad. In bosses stage, you only need to push back the boss most of the time, and you can redistribute the turn meter to other target. So she pushed the team up. She boosts their speed so they can move more frequently, and she pushed back the enemy target. And on top of that, she can freeze and heal block. So a very strong control unit. Very good kit overall with high base speed as well. And I believe if you get her dupe, you're probably going to get a bit more accuracy in the dupe as well. So she's going to be a very strong control character. So unlike Marvel, okay, the 4-star dark character, Marvel can push back the entire enemy team and slow them. So Marvel control the enemy team. Meanwhile, Mio can control and boost the team at the same time. However, without the slow debuff, then she can't really control them super well. So if you combine Marvel and Mio, or you combine Mio with a slow debuff character, let's say Lilith, for example, who can AoE slow, it's going to be the complete control package. Because once again, if you want to apply control well, you have to remember these 3 things for me, okay? You need to you need to slow them down, you need to push back their turn meter, and if you can freeze or stun or sleep them, it's going to be amazing because they have to gain that turn to get out of the control and then lose their entire turn meter, and then they need to gain another turn again to move again. And with slow debuff, that whole process is going to be very slow for them. And if you can buff speed like what this character is doing, you add another layer on your control. Even though it's not adding on the enemy team, you add the speed buff on your team so that your cooldown will feel shorter because you are now taking more turn than the enemy combined, and you can reapply your layer of control on the enemy team when you can. So this unit plus a slow debuff is gonna almost complete your entire control package, which is really, really good. And it's a pay-to-win character, of course. Can I say that pay-to-win? I'm not too sure, though. Would the dev be very happy to hear that? But she's going to be rarer than the other character because she is the light element, like Messiah. Can I call it light? I need to start using the Etheria restart lingo, which is the constant element. And then they also tease another new character, which is the Iron Fist Warrior. The only thing I know about Iron Fist nowadays is the Marvel Rivals character. So she's gonna be like the budget arcane collab. They did not tease any of the skill description, but we can see the skill 1 is probably going to be a single target dispel, which is going to be strip. And skill 3 is also an AoE dispel, as you can see right here. And because she's going to be a green character, she's going to be good in Termaton. She might be good in Doki Doki, but she doesn't really bring any actual CC to help you bypass the enemy damage reduction passive. So I think she's going to be usable in PvP. And she's going to be usable in Termaton because in Inferno stage for Termaton, the boss will have immunity. So you're definitely going to need a strip in there. And with her having 2 strip ability, I think that's going to be great because you can always miss one. Okay, so I think the new character looks cool. One of them is going to be really strong. It's going to be the pay to win part. And the other character looks really cool as well and probably more achievable for the majority of the player base. All right, the second most important question is going to be about a pity. Will pity counter for limited banner carry to the next banner? According to them, they will carry over. However, there are 2 different kind of limited banner because there's the normal limited banner, the Freya banner, and then there's the Messiah, which is the LD banner. They really like the Summoners of Lingo. So we have the LD banner, the Messiah banner, they have a different pity, and then the Freya banner will have a different pity. So the different pity will carry over to the relevant banner. So Freya banner will not mess with the Messiah banner in terms of pity. So if you happen to put some pool into the banner, it will carry to the next banner. So don't worry about that. They also talk about or confirming the fact that dupes will work across the game, and they are going to introduce another new shop or maybe new items in the RTA shop that you can obtain dupes. So this will solidify the fact that RTA or PvP in this game is going to be very, very important because this game is going to be a very PvP focus game. So we have RTA, we have the AI PvP, so this one's going to be the easier version, but the tryhard PvP is going to come with a shop, and that shop is definitely going to be very important for many players because in this shop, you get to buy summon, you get to buy the premium summon, which is another way for you to hit pity on the Messiah banner or Mio banner or whatever new banner they're going to introduce later in part of the game, and you can also buy all the progression item. Especially the limited item, you can see redeemable 10 out of 10. Those are the items that you always want to max out every single time. It is available, and I think the shop refresh every 45 days. I'm not sure, but they are constantly evolving the game, which is great. Okay, the dev really listen to the feedback. They take care of the player in the Discord server. They read all the conversation to slowly improve the game. So it's not going to be like a fixed state. Right now, it can always be better and more player friendly to make it so that we can all enjoy many different animus and we can all play PvP sort of fairly, but not really though. It's a gacha game with banners and summoning and a cash shop. But then they're always trying to close the gap between a paying player and a free-to-play player or a low spender, all different kind of spender in the game. Another important thing for the try-hard player who really dive into the game mechanic, they also talk about accuracy and resistance, and they have also confirmed that if you have more accuracy, you can increase the skill probability. So for Viper, for example, Viper AoE strip is 75% chance, but when I use this character in endgame content where I build this character with good effect accuracy, and when I fight this character in PvP in last beta, the 75% felt like 100%. And they have confirmed that the more accuracy you have, the higher the skill probability can become. So certain characters that don't have 100% chance to land debuff, like even Kraken, for example, it has a 75% chance to decrease turn meter and 60% chance to freeze. But when you use this character and you build it with effect accuracy in your mind, it actually feel like 100% chance to land all that shit, which is really good. In the skill 1, have a 40% chance to increase or decrease enemy defense, but with high effect accuracy. And according to the talk that the dev team released, you can potentially, right here, it can increase the skill probability by 2 times maximum Not sure what is the exact formula yet, but that's probably going to be out there somewhere on Reddit, Discord, or other YouTube videos soon, which mean a unit like Kraken can decrease enemy defense by 80% chance if you have his effect accuracy really, really high. And that is probably the way to build these characters anyway. And because for the shell and not the shell, the model system, the game can potentially allow you to build 3-slot effect accuracy. So it's not a challenge to get accuracy for these characters to be really, really high to improve their effect probability to land your debuff, especially in PvE. Another bonus for a lot of players that I really think is going to be amazing is that for free stamina, they're going to give more through gameplay, through different events potentially, but they're going to give more stamina, which is going to be amazing. And because in the beta, there was an event that will double your drop in certain dungeon, that's going to be the time where you go all in and use your 10 refresh a day. Because I think for free-to-play, you probably cannot go 10 refresh a day forever. You will have to do that during the double reward day. And for like your daily gameplay, maybe you do like 10, no, not 10, 2 refreshes, maybe, or 3, and you kind of want to save some gem for summon if you care about summon. Personally, free to play or not, I'm going all in with farming whenever I can. Whenever I can. Also, they talk about Gil v Gil. So this is going to be like a super short preview. They talk about it for like 10 seconds, which is not a whole lot, Chris, okay? Give us more details, please. So, as you can see right here in the Gil v Gil map, okay? So we're going to have a lot of bases. So they really mimic the Summoners War Gil v Gil system and potentially make it better. I don't have any qualms about that. You can definitely take a system and make it way better, and it's still going to be very similar. So as you can see right here, both Gil will have a lot of different bases, and I can see that in each bases there will be defense team that is going to be made up of 3 enemies. So it's going to be a 3v3 type of combat, which is amazing. In this game, we have 5v5 in PvE, we have 4v4 in PvP, like the arena and the RTA. In RTA, it's more like 5v5, but you ban one character. And in Gil content, it's going to be 3v3. And that's going to make a whole new meta and open up possibility for Bruiser unit to be even stronger in 3v3, especially multi-purpose character like Tiamat or Hellkit in a smaller team setting. The more role you can fulfill in your character is going to be absolutely incredible. Or it's going to show up different combo as well for one-shotting, because in a 3v3, if you can snipe one target, because there are so less slot for team building, you can only have like 1 DPS for your team on your defense team, for example. If you can snipe that DPS, you technically win the game, because the 2 healer will die sooner or later if they don't have any revive or whatever. So the different combination, the meta, the unit that can be strong in this content is going to be a whole different story, because you can have very strong character for arena and PvP because they work really well in a 4v4 format. But when you go to the guild battle, when it's 3v3, then it would not be good. And that happens in so many other PvP gacha games that I've played before, especially Summoners War. They're characters that are so strong, so dominating, so talked about in RTA, but are completely irrelevant in this content. And this content can potentially give you a lot of gem. You can see right there, there's a gem reward already for just capturing the thing. And we haven't talked about like the season reward, the winning guild reward. There's so many different kind of reward that can lay out for you to get, so you can play the content and feel like you're rewarded for your time, which is very, very important. So I'm very excited to see more info about this. Unfortunately, they didn't show a whole lot. And in this kind of content, it's going to be so important for you guys to build up our character. Okay? I am not joking. You have to build our character to actually excel in this kind of format, because when you look at the format of the content, then you will see a lot of different bases, right? They could have made a base with a rule that you can only use our character. For example, R or below, or SR or below, for example. And if you cannot use the same enemies to attack different bases, let's say you attack one base with your Freya, Messiah, and Lily. Solid team. You got 1 win, but now you have to do another 5 attacks on other bases. You don't get to use those characters again anymore. And the only way to proceed to be valuable member of the guild is to start building these guys. And they are very, very good. They are just like weaker version of what you are already using in other character. For example, Kachi is gonna give one character a full turn and attack buff, even though Kachi is kind of slow. But let's say you are fighting a base that's not supposed to be very, very fast, because people have limit on their gear as well. They cannot put their best Swift Rush build on every character, right? Let's say you put your best Swift Rush build on Kachi, because they allow you to do that in the game. They have preset for you to have like your best speed gear, your best heal, your best damage, whatever. You can put your best Swift on your Kachi, and Kachi is going to boost your Messiah to one-shot the entire enemy team. So that is one way for you to reserve your fighting power. So you don't have to run Freya. You don't have to run Chiaki with your Messiah. You can run your Kachi with Messiah. And then you can use your Freya in order team. So if you mix match our character with SSR character, you create a very strong team without using all of your resources in the early attack. Very important. And if you look at Andrew, or if you look at the blue Andrew has AoE defense rank. Very good. No 41 is literally just Freya, but not as good. But the skill 3 is very similar. So if you need to boost your team with attack power, let's say you boost your Lian, because everybody has Lian, you're gonna AoE cleave them with Lian and no 41 and the blue Andrew. And you don't have to use like your claws, you don't have to use your Freya, you don't have to use your Tiamat yet. You can use them, but combine them with different R characters. It's going to create so much synergy and strategy for this content. I'm so excited for this content, guys, because in this kind of game, in the same genre, nobody give a shit about R character. Even SR character are usually forgotten, but in the game mode where there are rules that make you use our character, where there are unit limitation that you have to use other characters to fill up your team and spread out your SR a little bit, SSR a little bit to attack multiple bases. You have to use our character, and that is such an exciting feature that I can't wait to see implemented into the game. I'm saying all this shit, I'm just yapping out of my ass, not gonna lie, because I don't even know if it's gonna be like that. But if it can be like that, that's gonna be one of the most exciting game mode as well for PvP, because you get to work with your guild, you get to attack bases, your guild gonna start forming strategy, building team, there are gonna be secrets around how to build defense team, all that stuff. It is so exciting. I love it. Anyway, there are more things in here that I don't really care about too much, like the gender ratio of the animals is going to be released. And then there's going to be like RTA Invitational that's going to happen very, very soon. So we're going to care about that when that happens. And then there are other small things like translation that they're probably going to fix when they release the game. Or if they don't, then they're going to hear about that on the Discord all the time. Anyway, I care more about the gameplay, the new character, all the stuff that is more about the gameplay, okay? The rest you can watch the video down there. It's only like 12 minutes. You don't have to listen to me explain, oh, translation. Don't care about that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited for the game. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited too, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.